Thursday morning, 9 a.m. That's when the fun always begins. It is Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by our friends at Decorah Bank and Trust. Three-guest program on the show this morning. RAGBRAI will be coming to Northeast Iowa in two communities. Lansing will be the end city, and West Union will be the last overnight stop. We will talk with Ian Zahren. He is the chair of the Lansing RAGBRAI community a little later on in the program. And we will talk with Matt Marsula with Main Street West Union and the West Union Chamber of Commerce, as well as Elk-McKee or Fayette County Economic Development. He will discuss West Union's efforts. Ian will discuss the efforts of the Lansing community to host RAGBRAI coming up this summer. But our first guest on the program this morning, it's that time of year. It's time for the Banelopet race coming up this Saturday, put on by Vestherheim, and getting some help from the Sons of Norway lodges in our area. Our first guest on the program this morning is Darlene Fossum-Martin with Vestherheim. Darlene will tell us all about Banelopet, and that's coming up right now on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Coming up this Saturday is the 22nd annual Banelopet put on by the Vestherheim Norwegian American Museum in Decorah. And with us is Darlene Fossum-Martin from Vestherheim. And Darlene, as we were just talking, I think last time we chatted was about 52 weeks ago. And here we are ready for another Banelopet. Always a fun event. Tell us about this year's event.
Yes, well, we have a little snow on the ground. That's kind of promising. It'd be nice if we could get some fresh snow, but we'll take what we have. The Banelopet, it's actually the 22nd Banelopet that we've held. So we've been going strong with it. There's usually around 45 kids, give or take a few, that attend this. It's going to be held next Saturday, February 5th at the Decorah Prairie. And registration will be at about 9:30ish. You do not have to pre-register, but come and giving yourself time to register at the special event. It's free. It's free due to a generous donation from John and Mary Hart. This race is in memory of Kjell Arne Berntsen, who was a Norwegian exchange student here and just a big skier in Norway. And so after the race, we'll have two different tracks. We'll have one that'll be about a mile, and then one is maybe a little under a mile for the really young kids. I mean, we've had 3 and 4-year-olds attending it and skiing it, so the age limit is 3 to 13. Fresh homemade cookies and hot chocolate after the event. And when they cross the finish line, they will get a bib and a medal placed around their neck.
Always a fun event. What is the Norwegian definition of a Banelopet? How does that translate?
Children's race. Even though it's not a race, everybody skis on their own and everybody's a winner. The translation would be children's race.
And you mentioned this event has been going on for 22 years. What keeps this event going strong? What keeps people coming back to it?
Well, some good volunteers to keep it going. We have 3 Sons of Norway lodges that are involved. Sons of Norway from Lanesboro, Spring Grove, and Decorah. And because of volunteers from these lodges, we're able to do a good job on keeping it running. It's actually an offshoot of the Barnaburkey, which is a race that is at the same time as the Birkebeiner up in Telemark, Wisconsin. So these are just offshoots of that Barnaburkey race. And there's maybe only about 5 in the nation now that are being held. So we're a really unique event.
And you mentioned it's at the Decorah Prairie for those dropping off their kids. Where do you suggest parking on Saturday?
Oh, that's a good question to bring up. Parking is right at the beginning of the event. It's right behind the Aussie Haugen home, and you go up, drive up and over the dike, and parking is right there, and the finish line will be right near the parking lot as well as the starting point. So it's really convenient for everybody this year, while we're holding it at the Decorah Prairie. I don't know what the conditions will be, but we have a great trek setter now. So hopefully if it's a little choppy, they can go over it and make set a nice track for us.
And looking at the long-term forecast as we talk here on Monday, this is probably just as good of a crapshoot as anything, but sunny and 25 coming up on Saturday. That sounds like a pretty good day for an outdoor event in February. You agree?
That's right. And that's why we call it a ski and walk, because nowadays we don't know what the weather's going to be. As long as it's not raining and 40 below zero. And it's been a really good weekend. I think we've only had to cancel a couple times. So yeah, there's a dike right there. Parents come out, families come together. And if you have a young one in the family, you can pull them behind you on the sled, and then kids go up on the dike and sled afterwards. And it's just a real fun event. We'll also have Ola and Pear, the two trolls, will be there visiting. So they weren't able to be there last year, but they were the year before. So that's something kids enjoy too, to get their picture taken with the two trolls.
And they're the friendly trolls, I'm guessing.
They are the very friendly trolls, yes. Although you might want to be careful, though. They might have a mean side to them. You never know.
Well, don't poke the bear, or don't poke the troll in this case. I guess that would be the fair statement on that end of things. Darlene, anything we're missing? Anything else you want to bring up to the public about Saturday's Banelopet?
Come one, come all. If by chance it's freezing, frigid cold, we will put cancellations on the radio. But we've been pretty lucky. So yeah, this Saturday, February 5th, 10 o'clock is when the event starts. Registration at 9:30. Fresh home-baked cookies and hot chocolate after the race. Everyone's a winner. They receive a bib and a medal to keep. Two trolls, I think we've covered it.
All right. Well, it sounds, at least in the long term, it's going to be a beautiful day. Outdoor activities, community camaraderie, a little bit of exercise, treats at the end. What more can you ask for?
Maybe a foot of snow.
All right. Well,
I better not say that. I better not say that too loud. There'll be some people that won't like to hear that.
Well, I'll put in your request silently. Okay. Darlene, we appreciate you taking the time telling us about the Banelopet coming up on Saturday. Always a fun event. Always good to support events like this, and we thank you and everybody at Vestherheim and the Sons of Norway lodges in the area for providing this event and what you guys do for the community.
Well, thanks for advertising this on the radio so we can get the word out.
Darlene Fossum-Martin from Vestherheim. Banelopet coming up this Saturday at the Decorah Community Prairie at 10 a.m. RAGBRAI will be coming to Northeast Iowa this summer, and the first town in our immediate area that will experience RAGBRAI on the Friday night of the event will be West Union. And with us from the West Union Chamber and Main Street West Union is Matthew Marsula. And Matthew, congratulations on getting RAGBRAI. I'd imagine the entire community is pretty excited on getting 15,000 friends to town come late July.
Yes, absolutely. It's been about 17 years since we've hosted it last. So while it is in everyone's memories, it's in their distant memories. And we're excited to pull together and host the final overnight for the 2022 year.
How do you get involved in RAGBRAI? Is there an application process? Do you express interest? How does the community get to be a host site like you guys are getting the opportunity to do this year?
Yes, RAGBRAI approached us and they sent out an email application that they asked us to fill out. They gave very little information in terms of the selection process. They just said that, a lot of communities were applying and that they would let us know at some point if we were selected. So we weren't certain about how excited they were about having us, what direction the route was going to be in, but we had to gather all the community resources, get letters of support, reserve 82 hotel rooms for their support staff, and make sure that we had all our ducks in a row for the application. We sent that in and then sat on it for about a few weeks, and they gave us a little bit of a heads up and invited us down to their announcement party.
And once you got the word that you were invited to the announcement party, I'd imagine everybody in the community had to feel pretty good about getting to host, right?
Well, as much as we wanted to jump for joy there, unfortunately, we signed an NDA and had to keep it mum until the event.
Oh.
So most of the town had no idea, and they were pretty curious as to why a group of 10 of us were heading down to Des Moines, just around the day. So some of them kind of reverse engineered it and were able to guess, but we got inundated with calls and requests and everything shortly thereafter the announcement. And everybody is just incredibly pumped.
And when it comes to hosting an event like this, this is probably an all-encompassing question. What all goes into welcoming 15,000 people to town?
Well, we're really thankful. RAGBRAI has been doing this for about 50 years now, or 49. And they have a handbook that kind of details the steps for success here. Now, obviously, it's not a cookie cutter for all communities because we are much smaller than Cedar Falls or Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, Dubuque, those areas. So we're going to have a lot of community individuals that are wearing multiple hats, but if we get them set on the right path and organized and pulling together, this is something that West Union can get done, and everyone is going to have a memorable night.
And will there be entertainment, food stands, et cetera, involved? How does the planning process begin and get going on those end of things?
Well, they give us a roadmap. We with this manual that they provide us, it's about 350 pages, and it details all the steps and how to approach each subject. It is up to the overnight towns to decide what they feel is the best fit for their music and entertainment. But West Union is going to have a live band. We're going to have food vendors. We'll have a beer garden. We will have all the amenities that these riders will be looking for and appreciate when they get here.
If I remember the last time RAGBRAI was in town, a lot of the entertainment was based right in the downtown area. Is that the plan again, or have you gotten that far yet?
Well, the idea is to keep everyone downtown. In the last 17 years, we've made quite a few major changes here. In 2011, we were a pilot program for a greenscape project, and it redid our entire downtown. We've got permeable pavers down there, ecologically friendly gardens. I mean, it is just a gorgeous downtown, and it's honestly a hidden gem in Northeast Iowa. So we're going to base most of our festivities there and allow 15,000 people to experience what I get to see every day.
And I think part of the reason towns get excited about hosting an event like this is you can get people to come back to your community. Maybe a lot of these folks on RAGBRAI haven't been to West Union before, and if you get to show off your community, they might say, hey, you know what, maybe a day trip, maybe a weekend getaway, maybe there's more things I want to check out here in West Union and Fayette County. Is that maybe some of the residual positives about hosting this event?
Absolutely. We've got a ton of projects that have been completed and some upcoming ones as well. We just recently approved a trail project connecting West Union to Echo Valley State Park, which you can take bicycles on and enjoy a nice, scenic bike ride, enjoy the nature and outdoors. And we're in a part of the driftless area where things start to get a little more interesting, and it's not just flat farmland for miles and miles. So I think with all of these added amenities, once they get here and see what we have to offer, we're going to get a lot of repeat customers.
And if folks want to get involved in volunteering or helping out, doing things to make the experience that much better for the RAGBRAI riders, is there opportunities to do that?
Absolutely. We've set up a special email for people to send out requests. That's RAGBRAI at woochamber.com. So RAGBRAI at WUCHAMBER.com, as well as reaching out to our main phone number line, which is 563-422-3070. And we can connect them with the resources here and the committees that'll, get the ball rolling here.
Anything else we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on to the public about the opportunity your community is going to have come late July?
West Union is an incredible community. I myself moved here from Boston about a year ago. And I have been blown away with the hospitality, the individuals, just the hidden gems here. I think once people have an idea to and have the opportunity to come here, they're going to have a hard time trying to leave. So I really appreciate, all the inquiries, all of the people coming out of the woodwork to help. I encourage more people to do so. And if they have any questions, they can reach out to me.
All right, Matt, we appreciate you taking some time talking about RAGBRAI coming to West Union. We'll probably touch base with you a couple of times before the event gets here in July. Thanks a bunch for the time this morning, and looking forward to a fun summer event in your community this summer.
Thank you very much, sir.
Matt Marsula is the Chamber is with West Union Chamber in Main Street, West Union. RAGBRAI going to be the final overnight stop in West Union this summer on July 29th. Lansing will be a host community for RAGBRAI in 2022. In fact, the final day of RAGBRAI will end in Lansing on July 30th. Ian Zahren is the chair of the Lansing RAGBRAI committee. And Ian, the announcement was made last weekend of the RAGBRAI route for 2022. How excited was the community when they received the news last Friday night?
I mean, the community is thrilled. It's an amazing moral and economic boost for the town.
What goes into becoming a RAGBRAI community? What goes into becoming a stop on the route?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of hours and volunteers, basically. So, I mean, first, you apply to be an overnight town or the beginning or end town. So that application is pretty thorough. I mean, even to apply to be a town, you have to be able to assure RAGBRAI as an organization that you're able to facilitate up to 30,000 cyclists that are coming through, and the RAGBRAI staff and RAGBRAI team. So, Lansing had been a town that we were the final town back in 2017, and it was extraordinarily successful. And I think Lansing is one of the most beautiful places in Iowa, and it's definitely a destination. And I think that is what kind of put us at the top of the list again this year, is the extraordinary efforts that went into last time, how well run the organization was, and just the scenery and the hospitality that this community offered to the RAGBRAI organization and the riders on that trek.
Knowing the fact that this year was going to be a northern route for RAGBRAI, did you feel that Lansing might have an opportunity going into this year to be this end community?
You never know for sure, but I know that we had some really great success last time, and I think because we had already done it, we had that kind of experience under our belt. So, you can't say for sure, but I think we all had a pretty good feeling that we had a good shot at it.
You got the good news last weekend, and now the work begins in putting on a show for the folks coming to town on July 30th. What type of work goes into hosting this event? What type of efforts from the community are necessary to put on a good show for the people coming to town?
Like I said, it is kind of an all hands on deck. I mean, we are actually not this year, but have been one of the smaller towns to host RAGBRAI. We're the second smallest town this year. So we have, a little under 1,000 people here in Lansing. And so, I mean, it really is it's a huge community wide initiative and effort. And, I pretty much right after that announcement was made, I was on the phone with people as the chair, asking for their support, asking for them to step up and volunteer. I have 19 committees that serve underneath of me that I organize, and board of advisors that I work with on a weekly basis, and of course in their city council that I'm meeting with, and Main Street Lansing, which is the 501c3 here. So I mean, it is It is about getting that organizational structure in place. RAGBRAI is an incredibly organized organization, and they really provide a wonderful, manual of every play-by-play and everything that you could possibly think of that you'll need. And they are incredibly supportive and caring and giving in that instruction and in that help. So, I mean, it is a lot of work to put that up. But what I am amazed by is, as a part of this community, is just how many community members have just already jumped in and said, how can we help? What can we do? How can we make this experience a great experience, not only for RAGBRAI and the riders, but also for our town, to improve our town? So initially, our big things that we're getting set up is we've got to make sure that we have parking available, that we have as transportation available, that we have camping and all of our sites available, and food so that we can feed all of these people, that we have our information up on our website. So that's kind of the big thing that's going to come into focus this month. Is, are our facilities set up? Is our information stream set up so people can access that information? And are we starting to get the publicity and the marketing out there so that people can find us and can find that information easily and accessibly?
If folks want to get involved and help out at all, are there opportunities for them to do so?
Absolutely. The more volunteers, the more help, the better. They can email me at Lansing RAGBRAI XLIX@gmail. Again, that's Lansing RAGBRAI XLIX, as in Lansing RAGBRAI 49@gmail. Not that any of us know what Roman numerals are nowadays, but that is the email. And they can volunteer their services through that email, and we will put them on a volunteer list, because we will certainly need a lot of volunteers on that day. And that's also the unique experience of being the ending town, is that we have a whole influx of people come in the week before to park their cars, to camp over in the night, and then we shuttle them. RAGBRAI shuttles them to the western end of the state to start the race. So we get kind of that influx at the very beginning, and then we get the huge influx at the end.
And getting this opportunity as a community, do you hope for some residual effects down the road, that maybe some of these bikers have never been to Alma-Key County, Lansing, Northeast Iowa, and they come to your community and say, hey, you know what, this is a very nice place to visit, I want to come back?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not a native to this town. I'm a transplant myself, and I'd never been to Lansing. I took a teaching position here last year, so I've only been here a little over a year and a half. So to be chairing this event is an honor. To be asked to chair this event is really an honor. And but that was the thing that struck me when I first came here. I thought I grew up in a really beautiful place down in southeastern Iowa, and I thought, this is it. This is the best place. This is the most beautiful scenic place I've been. And then I came here and I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to go anywhere again outside of, I'm like, if I have to move, it'll be to a different state, but I'm not moving anywhere else in Iowa. So I mean, the scenery makes it. We are really in the heart of the driftless region, and I think people are just going to be enamored. And we've had really expansive growth as our community, our business community is really rapidly growing. We have a new co-working space in town, and we have a great coffee shop that just started on the river, Coffee on the River, and lots of great restaurants, bars, new shops opening up. So, we're hoping that people come, they see the scenery, they see that kind of vitality and that heartbeat that's happening in these rural communities on the river, and they choose to come back and keep visiting us.
Anything we're missing as we have this conversation? Anything else you want to pass on to the public about Lansing and RAGBRAI 49 coming to town this summer?
Just that we are so thankful to the RAGBRAI organization and the staff there that has been incredibly supportive, and that we are excited. We are slightly overwhelmed at the start of this, but no, I mean, all of that's a joke. It's we are just really honored to be a part of this, and we look forward to representing Lansing, representing RAGBRAI, and really showing off our town and taking pride in the incredible innovation and beauty that we have here.
All right, Ian, bless me. Ian, thank you for the time here this afternoon. We appreciate you taking some time to talk about RAGBRAI 49 coming to Lansing this year. Always fun to talk about summer events when the temperature is hovering around 0 degrees. And we know Lansing will do a great job of hosting the event this summer, and we'll probably touch base with you a couple of times before everything gets underway. Thanks for the time this afternoon, and we wish best of luck as you prepare for RAGBRAI coming to town this summer. Great.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time.
Ian Zahren is the chair of the Lansing RAGBRAI Committee. RAGBRAI 2022 will end in Lansing this summer. We talk to our guest on the program this morning, Darlene Fossum-Martin with Vestherheim. The Banelopet coming up Saturday morning at the Decorah Community Prairie at 10 a.m. Also, I want to thank a couple of guests talking about RAGBRAI coming to town this summer. Always good to talk about summer events when the temperature is hovering around 0 and the wind chills well below 0. Matt Marsula with the West Union Chamber of Commerce and Main Street West Union, talking about West Union becoming the last overnight stop on July 29th. July 30th, the last stop on RAGBRAI will be at Lansing this year. Ian Zahren is the chair of that committee. We appreciate him taking the time to tell us about those efforts. Don't forget, each and every week, we put these shows up on YouTube so you can actually see the people we get to talk to on a week in and week out basis. We appreciate your views on that. We realize you can't always be by the computer or by the radio at 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning, but you want to hear what these interesting people have to say. You can watch it on YouTube. Like for today's show, you can just search 2-3 Our Town program. You could find it that way, or we also put it on the Facebook sites of all of our Winnis Communications stations, Hawk Rock, KVIK, KNEI, and of course 94.9 and 99.1 The River. So that's another way you can keep up with the content that we produce. Our thanks to our guest. Thanks to our sponsor, as always, Decorah Bank and Trust. And most importantly, we thank you for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching Our Town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.